All right, so we got a cool look for you guys. We're gonna be doing a portrait look. It's gonna be more of a model portrait. It's not like your standard kind of serious portrait here. It's gonna be sort of moody. We're gonna be focusing on expression a lot. But one thing we're gonna be doing that people seem to love is to get a shallow depth of field in the studio look. So it looks really cool because we're gonna build contrast in post-processing using dodge and burn. And then that shallow depth of field on top of it's gonna create like a nice layered effect. It's gonna create a lot of dimension in our image. So we're gonna be shooting this look two different ways. We're gonna be starting off with the 200 f2. We're going to be shooting it at f2. No ND filters on this at all. We're just shooting it straight as it is. With this guy, you can't really mount a proper ND filter on it because it's obviously a huge lens. It's got drop-in filters, but again, you know, they're not great. So I'd rather stay away from using any sort of ND filter. So we're going to show you how to get this look without any ND filters. And then we're going to do another one with the 8514G, where we're going to throw a 3-stop ND filter on it, make some changes to the lighting so you can see the different variations of how to achieve this look. So right now, because we have no ND filter on here, we're actually getting a balance of daylight coming in from the windows. That's lighting the background. So we're getting a little bit of exposure there. The model is actually flagged off from the light using this V-flat. So this V-flat's actually serving two purposes. We've got it actually blocking off the light, and it's also going to fill in the light on her. We've also changed our main light out. We don't have the Broncolor packs anymore. We're using just a standard Elinchrom Quadra Ranger, so it's about a $1,400 battery pack. The reason I like to use this pack is because it's got asynchronous ports where the B port is 1/3 of the power of the A port, so I can go really low in power. Now if you don't have a pack like this, that's okay. You can just use a standard speed light and mount it in like an octabox or a softbox, and the speed light will be fine as far as power output, because we want our power output to be as low as possible, which is often a problem in really strong packs. So we're going to try and use one of the stronger packs with the ND filter, but for this we're just going to try and keep the power nice and low on this pack. And you know, it's a much more affordable set of gear than what you've seen. I mean, this Octa up here, it's a small deep Octa, not quite as large as the Para 88 we were using, but it's about 500 bucks, actually probably even less than that, maybe like 350. So very affordable. What I've got in there right now is I've got a couple of layers of diffusion. I've got a reflector pan inside it, so it's almost like a beauty dish reflector pan. Then I've got an inner baffle and I've got the outer baffle. The reason I've got all of those layers on, for one, it makes it a little bit softer, more even light. And the second thing is that it drops the power down even more. So the more layers of diffusion you put in, the more the power ends up going down on the strobe. So we're going to start here. I've got it more or less set up. This is generally how I like to set it up, where I have the light sort of, you know, not quite at a 45-degree angle. It's just slightly angular on the model. That's going to just give us, you know, a bit of an asymmetric look. That's going to fill in the light there, and then, like I said, the background is going to be lit by the daylight coming in. So normally we don't really care what shutter speed we're at, simply because the flash duration of the strobe is so short that whether you're at 100th, 200th, 50th, makes no difference whatsoever to the final output. It's only your aperture that's going to vary the overall exposure in your image. Now in this case, because we're bringing in some daylight, it is actually going to make a difference because we're balancing the daylight with our strobe. So it's not going to affect the exposure on our model too much. I mean, it might bring in a little bit of daylight on her, but for the most part she's flagged off, but it will make our background lighter or brighter. So we're going to try a couple of different settings and see what looks best. So I'm at 1/200th right now at f2, and my ISO is 100. So we're going to take a few test shots here. Now the focus of this look, really, Katie, is just like emotion. So just you know, be expressive with your eyes, just kind of vary the moods. And then in terms of body position, you're pretty flexible. You can kind of go from here to here. I'll try a couple of different variations, okay? All right, so I'm going to sit down because this lens weighs a ton. All right. See how we're doing there, if that actually fired. Did, okay. It's coming up a little bit warm. Let's see what white balance we're on. We're on auto. Let's see how flash white balance looks here. We can always adjust that a little bit more later, but let's see how we can get it in camera. Now in this case, make sure you focus on the near eye again if there's any sort of angle in the face. That's reading even warmer. So we're going to stick to auto, and then I'll just adjust it afterwards. Okay, as far as the lighting, let's see how we're doing here. I'm going to actually bring down that Octa a little bit because in some cases I'm missing the catch lights in her eyes. So let's just drop this light down a bit. Now with this look, one thing to remember too, because we're shooting at f2, you're gonna miss focus probably a lot. Don't be surprised if you miss it like 50–60% of the time. So once we actually start shooting, I'm gonna get Katie to hold every pose for 2 shots. We'll try and focus every time and make sure that we nail it at least hopefully on one of them. Another thing you're gonna wanna do is use your autofocus points. Don't focus on the center point and then recompose. Actually put the focus point on her eye where you need it to be. Okay, let's try another one here. Let's see how this new light looks. Yeah, that's better, I think. Okay. And I'm actually going to turn off the image, or turn on the image stabilization on this lens, just to be on the safe side. Shouldn't matter. The flash duration should freeze everything, but because we've got a little bit of mix of light sources, I'm just going to turn it on just to make sure that we get a nice sharp image. So I think we're pretty good on the light for now, Katie, so we're going to just start working through the actual poses, okay?